Okay, everybody, I've got Mamaroo here. This 4Moms Mamaroo bouncy thing. I don't know if you can see that. I've kind of got it apart, and there's a lot of videos out here on how to fix this thing. And it's usually the sensors. What's happening with this thing? And this is I don't know if you can see that screen. It's kind of dim, no backlight. But you hit this, start to get it going, and it just barely moves. And what's happening in the older models, it comes up and says that it's got some kind of blockage or obstruction. This one doesn't say that. This one just goes blank. But it's acting the same way as the obstruction fault on the earlier models. And these things have at least 3 sensors. It's basically a pretty simple operation. It's got a motor here, and it's got a motor inside here that runs it up and down. So the motor over here is running it side to side. The motor underneath there is running it up and down. And the sensors are probably there to give it these nice patterns that it's got in here, you know, the kangaroo, the tree swing, the rockabye, the wave, and the car ride. So it keeps it in time. But really all you got is 2 motors, one running it up and down, the other one running it side to side. And each motor has a sensor in it to make sure that the thing is spinning. And if it senses that it's not, I think it quits. And so a lot of people are having success cleaning those sensors and going on their merry way. And I have taken it all apart and was not successful. It continues to have these faults. So I had basically 2 options. One was just throw it away and buy another one, or buy something different. Or I could try to fix it with something simple. And so what I did is nothing's lost if I do it. I spent $14, $15 on eBay, and I bought 2 of these little switches. This is just a motor speed control for low voltage, 12 volt. And it was a 2-pack I got for like $10, and then I got an on-off switch for $5. And so I've got about $15 invested in parts. And my thing is I'm going to basically abandon this panel. Put my own switches in here. I'm going to have one knob that controls up and down, one knob that controls side to side. Override the sensors altogether. Because I don't really care, about those things. If the motor works, it should be going up and down. And so that's my plan. And so I'll try to take you through this. I saw one other video out there about a guy who did this, but he made his own boards, and I'm not capable of doing that. I'm not going to be doing that much soldering. So anyway, that's the plan. You got to make sure you understand which one is positive and which one is negative, because I understand that if you feed these motors the wrong polarity, you could wreck the motors. So just to verify, I got my electrical meter here. My red lead is on the red wire, and I do have positive voltage. And so that proves to me that the red is positive, coming right out of the power supply, and the black is ground. So that's going to be the rule going forward. I'm going to stick to that, as this wire goes all the way to the front and into the board back here. And then you clearly have the black wire and the red wire going to the back of the motor. So I think that rule will work. The other wire's in there for the sensor, which I'm going to be ignoring. So that's the plan. So I've now disconnected, pulled off the panel and the front cover, and I think what I'm going to try to do is mount the switches in this piece of plastic right in the front so that it can stay in there all the time. and these things just won't work. They kind of feel funny because there's nothing behind them anymore as far as switches, because that's what these guys were. And these are my two leads. That's the power supply. And it's pretty obvious which ones are the motor. This is the one for the motor. The wires are thicker than the sensor wires. So this is the motor for the up and down, and this is the motor for the side to side. So I cut this little guy off because that's going to get in the way of some of my switches in the back. So I just use my little, buzzing out tool to do that. So this particular on-off switch has an LED light in it. So you can see that little label there. The supply goes in the bottom tongue, the load goes in the middle, and the ground goes in the top. So I have put little connectors. Here's my ground right here, and I have actually combined two wires together so I can get that to the switch, the motor speed control things. That's my ground. Here's my supply coming right from the power supply. That's the positive. And then I've got, I created one. I didn't have any more red wire, so I just wound up some white tape over this so I'd know that it was hot. And I'll connect that to the load. And that will go to each switch, one wire to each switch. So that's the plan right now. Okay, switch one is there. Okay. As far as I know, everything's hooked up. Okay, so this is my test. I've got double check all my wiring. Okay. So switch can go on. So this is the test. That's the up-down switch. The side-to-side switch. It's working. Turn it off, put it together. Got the panel in there. Getting the wires in there was a little struggle, but I think I got it going. I just want to make sure I didn't cross any wires before I sew this whole thing back together. That's full speed on that guy. That's full speed on that guy. That's about right. You can slow one down. Those things look like they're threading okay. This puppy's ready to go. Okay. It works. Full speed. On both sides, you can do whatever you want. Slow it down. Pretty awesome. They're happy about it. Doesn't look too bad either.